Good people? It's your boy Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle one more again. Just gonna hit you real quick with a quick video for gonna do pick'em show. Was don't want to get too out of place with my pick'ems. Two behind the scenes on my pick'ems. I didn't pick them last week. Had some scheduling conflicts. Had homecoming at my town, and so wasn't able to do our pick'ems. So uh, just so you know, me and TK did our pick'em. I guess you can call it a pre-show where we kind of talked about who we were going to pick, and so he was a little under the weather today, so he wouldn't have been good, good company today. So I'm just to get him on record. What our picks was from last week and for this week. So just so you know, um, yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go right here. All right, so last week, which would have been week 6, your boy Uncle Fred went 10-5, and TK went 11-4. So he beat me last week. So and I think that Seattle, was it Seattle, Tampa Bay? No, it was Seattle, LA Chargers. It was the Seattle LA Chargers. I picked the Chargers. He picked Seattle, and I think that was the difference. I think we pretty much was the same on everything else, and then I know I missed on the Atlanta. We both missed on the Atlanta Buffalo. So yeah, that's good. We were pretty much all the same on the rest of them. So let's get it. Let's get it cracking. Please hit that like, that comment, and that subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. So, all right, so we got games starting first off in the morning at 8:30. We're in London, over in Wembley Stadium. You got the Los Angeles Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, the Jacksonville Jaguars is this is their second home. They go to London every year, seems like, and they're, I think Shah Khan, he's the owner of the Jaguars. I think he don't mind up at home game to go over there. So that's like a second home to the Jaguars and stuff. So got the Rams coming over there. The Rams coming off a 17-3 win over the Ravens on last week. The Jaguars coming off of a loss. They lost to the it was them that lost to the Seahawks. It wasn't the Chargers. It was them. It was them that lost to the Seahawks. That's what it was, and it was a tight game. But the I think I picked Jacksonville, and they lost, and he picked Seattle. That's what it was. So they're coming off a loss, and so me and TK split on this one. He's taking the Rams. Rams gonna be without Puka Nakua, who I think is the most physical wide receiver in the NFL, and I think he adds another dimension to that offense. I actually think in that game against the 49ers, had they thrown a tunnel screen or a flare screen to Puka Nakua, they're getting that first down rather than handing it to Kyron Williams, who lost yardage or whatever because he fumbled early in that game. I know I'm going back 2 weeks here, but Rams really could be 6-0 right now. They got 2 kicks blocked against the Eagles, one return for a touchdown. But anyway, but I think the Puka Nakua plus I guess you can call it the culture shock, because the Jaguars go to London every year, so they kind of know it. So I got the Jags winning that game, even though I'll probably be silently pulling for the Rams. That's my secret crush, whatever, when the Cowboys ain't playing. So we're splitting on that one. I think I got a 4-star our game on it. I think that's going to be a very good, one of the best games that you're going to have on tomorrow. So I got the Jaguars. TK's got the Rams. Okay, moving on to the clock game. On October 9th, 12 o'clock noon, you got the Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Need I say more? Kansas City's getting Rashee Rice back, fresh off that 6-game suspension for driving like a fool in broad daylight in Dallas, Texas. And Roger Goodell came and smashed his hand, and he had to miss 6 games. This is his first week back. I guarantee you, Andy Reid's got some packages for him, and they're going to probably go to him quite a bit. So basically, Patrick Mahomes got his full arsenal. He's got Rashee Rice. He's got Xavier Worthy. He's got Hollywood Brown. He's got that kid Thornton, and so to go with what all the other stuff that they've got. The Raiders, I mean, they got Geno going to throw his 10th and 11th and 12th pick on this game. So I got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs, I think, are favored by like 12 and a half. Might be just that. I got Kansas City. Okay, then you got the Patriots traveling up 65 from me to play the Tennessee Titans, fresh off of firing both their head coach and their offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. So it's Brian and Bill Callahan, father and son, both out of here, man. Out of here, man. Got rid of both of them. And they're bringing in the Patriots with Mike Vrabel, the guy they fired for those two guys, that guy. So yeah, think that Mike Vrabel gonna come in there with maybe like I don't know some added mojo. This the guy y'all replaced me with, and then he don't even make it 2 years, and now I think they hired or interim coach is Mike McCoy. He's been like an offensive guy. I think he was the head coach of the Chargers once upon a time. He's been around the league for a minute. He's a kind of a pretty good offensive dude. But I don't think it's gonna make any difference. I think Vrabel's gonna bring them Patriots in there and they're gonna hang 40 on them. So I got the Patriots winning that one, and I think he's gonna run the score because I think he's willing to make uh he's gonna make a statement to the Adams family for doing what they did to him and firing him. So I got the Patriots in that game. New England's favored by 6.5 or more in that. All right, next we got the Miami Dolphins, the Cleveland Browns. I jokingly said in our pregame, hey, I think this is going to be the game who could lose the most games that can get to the trade deadline the quickest to unload half their high-priced players. Dolphins got a lot of players. I know Mike McDaniel says, "Oh, we're not trying to trade no players." Dude, yes, y'all are. Y'all are 1-6. Okay, y'all aren't going anywhere, and you got a bunch of high-priced players, and there's going to be people, casting lots to get y'all's players. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be at it's not Progressive Field. I don't know. That's the baseball stadium. I'm not sure what the field's called in Cleveland, but they're going to be playing there. And Cleveland, with Dylan Gabriel, you might see Dylan Gabriel stumble a little bit. Who knows? Whatever. But I do know the running back they got from Ohio State. Guy's name slips my mind. It'll come to me in a minute. Been running the ball very well, and we've seen the Miami Dolphins can't stop the run very well. So I look for the Browns to run the ball, keep the Miami Dolphins offense off the field, and I think the Browns win that. Cleveland's favored by 2.5, and I think that's what do probably by maybe by 7. I think they win by 7. So I got Cleveland winning that game. Sorry, Dolphins. I think y'all are the better team, but I think right now Tua, talking about blowing the whistle on a lot of plays. Tua's going through a lot of stuff right now. So he was nothing like that when he was at Bama. He just did it, kept his head down, got his work done. Praised God every time you saw him in on the sidelines. Now he's complaining and snitching. Get some help, Tua. Get some help, man. And but I got the Browns winning. So next we got the Panthers at the Jets. The two opponents that the Cowboys just played the Jets 2 weeks ago, beat them, lost to the Panthers last week. It's another team. They're 0-6, the only winless team in the NFL right now, playing the Panthers, who are 3-3, and Bryce Young starting to feel what he's doing. Rico Dowdle had 183 yards against my Cowboys. Had like 56 yards receiving and a touchdown against the Cowboys last week. Amassed like 418 yards against my Cowboys last week. Um, and and the Jets will be without Garrett Wilson, who I think is like their best football player. So I don't think any way, shape, form, or fashion that the Panthers will win this. That the Jets will win this. I got the Panthers winning. The Carolinas favored by a point and a half. I think they'll win by 3. Next, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. The Saints are 1-5. The Bears are 3-2, 0-2 to start the season. Started their season winning streak by the Cowboys about a month ago. Beat the Cowboys 31-14. Came back and beat the Raiders 25-24. I think there was a missed field goal at the end of the game, or the Raiders would have won that one. Then they came back on last Monday night and beat the Commanders. Jaden Daniels fumbled late in that game, which allowed that to happen. But give the Bears credit. They have stuck together. Ben Johnson's kind of got that team kind of playing, together. They was kind of, didn't know what they were first couple of games. The Saints, another team, is probably going to, be unloading a bunch of players at the trade deadline. And so I got the Bears winning. Bears are favored by 4.5. I think they'll win, and Bears move to 4-2. And now all of these games are me and TK have agreed upon. We agreed upon all of those teams, okay, and those wins. So we both got the Bears winning. Like I said, they're favored by 4.5. Okay. Now I got 3 stars on this game. You got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Minnesota Bank Stadium. It's TA Bank, I think that's what it's called. Uh, in Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. The Eagles are favored by 2.5. Now, you know what I say about the Eagles. You do it again. And this is what I think about the Eagles losing 2 games in a row. Yeah, I like doing that. That's funny. They're funny to me. But yeah, I know this one thing. I know that's a resilient bunch. Can't stand them, but I know they're a resilient bunch. They've heard all this week how their offense can't get it done. Jalen Hurts can't get it done. They AJ and Devontae, mad on the sidelines, can't get passes. Offense, they're the only team in the NFL that been outgained all 6 games that they've played. Now you think about that for a minute. There's some bad teams in the NFL that outgained one of their opponents. They're the only team that every opponent has outgained them. Okay, so they had to hear it for 10 days how bad their offense was, right? So I look for them to come out swinging, right? Then couple that with the Vikings. We're not sure if McCarthy is going to be JJ McCarthy is going to be playing, or if it's going to be Carson Wentz. So that being said, and of course now on the injury report, what's the linebacker's name? Here we go right here. Yeah, Andrew Van Ginkel, number 43, kamikaze linebacker for them, does everything for Brian Flores' offense. Defense. He's going to be out with an injury. I'll tell you what it was. He's going to be out with a shoulder. No, it's a neck. You don't play with your necks. So yeah, Van Ginkel, and I think that's the key to stopping the Philadelphia Eagles offense. That dude blitzes. He plays the run, plays the pass, pretty much does it all, and he's not going to be playing. The Minnesota defense not the same without Ginkel. So that being said, I think the Eagles win. The Eagles are favored by 2.5, and I think they'll win by about 7. So the Eagles get back on the winning track and win. So you know how I feel about that. If they lose 3 in a row, boy, I'm pitching a party because I can't stand them dirty birds. Can't stand them. Can't stand them at all. All right. Then at the 3:05 p.m. slot, we got 2 3:05, and I got 4 stars on this one. You got the Indianapolis Colts. I wrote down all the games me and TK split on, and I want to say the Colts and yeah, we split. Oh, we split on the Dolphins and Browns. The TK got the Dolphins. I got the Browns. Sorry about that. We pretty much the same on everything. Then you got the Colts. Yeah, we split on that one. TK's got the Chargers. I got the Colts. Colts been playing some good football right now. I know they're going to be without Josh Downs according to the injury report. Um, Danny Dimes is playing himself into almost like MVP status. No, he's got them at 5-1. Only loss being, I think they lost to the Rams, where they somehow forgot Choo Atwell, and he scored on an 88-yard. Nobody covered him, and the Colts defense has been playing a lot, playing good defense with Al Golden, who came over from Notre Dame. But and they've been playing pretty good defense all year, but somehow they lost Choo Atwell, and he got loose for them 88 yards. I think that he has been aided. He meaning um, Danny Dimes, who affectionately called Indiana Jones, um, has been aided by just handing the ball to number 28. Because Jonathan Taylor is I think he's got 603 yards and about like 6 touchdowns, leading the league in all of those categories. And it's really been the best running back in the NFL this year. Who's the thought in the game of the season? People thinking they could give the coach like a second or a third round pick and they would let you have him. Bet they wouldn't let you have him now. The Chargers, they played some decent football. They beat the who did they beat last week? They beat somebody. I'm not gonna look it up, but they're 4-2, and they playing well. I think Jim Harbaugh, has got them playing right now. Got them playing good defense. They got some injuries. I know Joe Alt. I think he might play today, and of course their left starting left tackle is out. So they got some issues there. The running back is out. Both of their running back. One of them's on IR, and then you got Najee Harris is out for the season with an Achilles. They'll probably be going with what's the kid's name from Michigan? Me and names. I have to write names down, or I won't remember their names. That's just how um, I can't remember things like I used to. But anywho, um, oh, yeah, here he is. Yeah, Hassan Haskins. That's his name. Jim Harbaugh had him at Michigan, so that's going to be the guy they're going to have running, and I think there's another running back that they've got. I've got the Colts winning that game because I just think the Colts are the more complete team, even without Josh Downs. They got Michael Pittman, they got Alec Pierce, and they got the kid from Texas. They got and of course they got Jonathan Taylor. I just think they're playing better football right now. Now they're gonna have to play at SoFi. That's gonna be a thing. So that's probably why TK liked the Chargers to win that game at home. So, but I have them winning that game, the Colts. Okay, and did I miss a game? I think I might have missed. No, I don't. 305. Okay. You got the New York Football Giants taking on the Denver Broncos. I got 2 stars at this game because the amount of buzz that the New York Giants have got with Jackson Dart and with Scatterboo is unreal. People are excited. People in New York are excited. I bet that number 6 jersey um, Jackson Dart and uh, 44, I believe, of Cam Scatterboo. I think them jerseys are jumping off the shelf in New York, right? So it's a lot of buzz, but they're going into Mile High and they're playing the Denver Broncos, who I think are playing some good football too. I think they're 4-2. And they're playing good. Bo Nix has got that team playing well, playing well. Um, and they've got Courtney Sutton and Mims and the defense. You know, I think the kid. I want to say his name is Quinian. I can't think what his name is, but he leads the leagues in sacks. And I think they're in like top five defense in the league. Okay, so and of course they got Patrick Surtain and Moss on the other side, one of the better pairs of corners. I've got the um, Broncos winning that game. They're favored by 7.5. Probably how it's going to be. You don't know what that thin air is like at Mile High until you've played in it. And Broncos play in it all the time. And the Giants are going to figure out. It's a throwback to Super Bowl 21 back in 1986, right? Where the New York Giants, Phil Simms, had the Super Bowl record, like 21 or 25 passes, 3 touchdowns, one to Phil McConkey, and Lawrence Taylor had a couple sacks, and they beat the Denver Broncos. I think it was like 30-19 or something like that. Yeah, that's tells me. It's also the day after the Challenger, the space shuttle Challenger disaster. So that's just because your boy been around a long time. I know footnotes and history and stuff like that. But moving on. So what I got, me and him both got the Denver Broncos in that game. All right. Then you got the moving on to the 325 games. You got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals got some things going on. I know some people at locals in Arizona. I work with a couple of them that are really down on Jonathan Gannon right now. Down on uh, Kyler Murray right now. Just can't seem to get their offense together. Can't seem all to Marvin Harrison. Can't do any of those things right. He's been, this is his third year there, and it's like, yeah. So I think he's been 23, 24, and this is his third year, and they're really, not looking that good right now. But I know one thing: you can't just go firing coaches every time. You got to have some sort of stability. So we'll see what happens with them. But they're taking on the Green Bay Packers. Packers coming to town. I think they're 5-1, if I'm not 4-1, maybe. And but they kind of been playing with their food a little bit. They're one of the dominant teams, especially defensively, and they're kind of like been, because I think they really just got out of Cincinnati last week. I think it was like 35-27, something like that. So I think, they've been kind of playing with their food just a little bit. And maybe, but I don't see any way that they go into Arizona and lose that game. Green Bay's favored by 7.5. I look for Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary to get busy because Kyler Murray will not be playing. Okay. Uh, Bennett uh, will be playing. Um, so he will. I can't. Me and names. Jacoby Bissett. Bissett. He'll be playing. So not a very mobile guy. With one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and his sidekick Rashawn Gary. Yeah, look for them to have about 5 sacks in this game. Yeah, I got Green Bay winning that one pretty handily. All right. Then you got you got the coup de grace of the 325 game. You got the Washington Commanders traveling to AT&T Stadium to take on my Dallas Cowboys at 325. Cowboys coming off the 30-27 loss to the Panthers. Guy kicked the field goal at the buzzer. They was able to run off 6 minutes and 20 seconds of the clock and kick a field goal at the buzzer. Um, Commanders coming off a loss to the Chicago Bears. They're both coming off losses. The Commanders are 3-3. We are 2-3-1. Here's the thing: the Commanders will be without Deebo Samuels, who's got a toe, and Terry McLaurin, who's got, I think, a knee. And they will be without a few other guys on their offense. Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb back. They get Cavante Turpin back. They get Tyler Booker back. And they get Tyler Smith back in his second game, coming off of an injury. But the Cowboys also will be without Tyre Higgs, um, because he had an accident. If you home has got a concussion, now, I think that's code word for him because we're trying to trade him, but we'll be talking about that at a later date. Cowboys always doing some business. You know me, and I don't love their front office at all. I hate their front office, but I love their players and I love this team. I hate the front office though. Front office are, and I think that's the weight that keeps that team from doing more than it can do. But anywho, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, gonna be, Jakarski Merritt, and uh, they're gonna have to get it done, man. You know, but I don't think they will. I think the Cowboys, with their complement of offensive players, I don't think there's a defense in the NFL that can stop that team when they want to score. With Dak, Javonte Williams, with CD and George Pickens, who got 6 touchdowns already and about like 30 catches, 500 and some odd yards already. CD Lamb just itching to get right back in there. And of course, they also got Jake Ferguson, who's leading the NFL in catches for tight ends. Also got 4 touchdowns. I got the Cowboys winning this one because I think they will not be stopped. They'll punt, but maybe one time. I think they'll roll up about 400 yards of offense, and I think they'll score about 30 points. Um, Cowboys defense is last in the league. I think they'll get a couple of stops this game, and I think they'll win. I got the Cowboys winning. Cowboys are favored by 1.5. I think they'll win by 6. All right, 7:20 on Peacock. You got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers had a tough one last week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lost that one. I think it was like 27-10, if I'm not mistaken. And they found out in that game they lost Fred Warner for the season. Also without Joey Bosa for the season, but they get Kittle back. But they also Brandon Ayuk is not back. And Ricky Pearsall also going to be out this game. Getting the picture, Atlanta Falcons, probably one of the best running teams in the NFL. Bijan Robinson and Algiers both having rushing touchdowns last week against the Bills, and they was able to sack Josh Allen 5 times. Atlanta Falcons, look out now. What I've been saying all year, if the Atlanta Falcons can get just a little bit of defense, I think they won defense in the NFL right now. Okay, Falcons win. I think they win this one big because I don't think Kyle Shanahan and his magic can overcome what the Falcons are putting together right now. I got the Falcons winning at Levi Stadium at 7 o'clock on NBC, and I think they're going to be making their statement as setting themselves apart as one of the better teams in the NFL this year. I got the Atlanta Falcons winning that one. Okay, got San Fran is favored by 1.5, but I think that's Fugazi. Okay, all right. Um, all righty now. Let's see here. Monday night. Now, Monday night, we've been having our discussions about the Monday night games because they trying to do the two Monday night games. They never seem to do it right because the optimum way you would do it, you start a game at 6:30 on the East Coast, start a game about 8:30 on the West Coast. Okay. Problem with that is you ain't got but about 5, 6 West Coast teams. Okay, you got the 2 LA teams, Chargers and the Rams. You got the 49ers, and you got the Seahawks. You got the Las Vegas Raiders, and then you got the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's all the West Coast teams you got that's on Pacific time. I think that's all of them. Okay, so you got a couple of Mountain Time teams. I think the Broncos are Mountain Time. Then it go from there. You get Central Time, so it's kind of hard to do that. So, but this time they was able to get it done. So, first game, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Ford Field in Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. Detroit's favored by 5.5. Look, excuse me. Tampa Bay's got injuries. They got Mike Evans who's coming back, and that I think Ibuka it's a game time decision with a hamstring. Um, Chris Godwin is out. Okay. And Bucky Irving is out. So you've taken away a component of the offense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's quite a shame. And TK made a good point in our talk this morning. He said if this game was like 2 weeks from now, this would be like one of the best games you'd have all season because Tampa Bay with all of their offensive arsenal with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Emeka Ibuka, along with Bucky Irvin and Rashad White in the backfield, and Baker Mayfield's another quarterback is playing out of his mind right now. They could go toe to toe with the Detroit Lions, I think. But with them having those guys out and Detroit Lions coming off a loss to Kansas City, sometimes you take a loss like that and it makes you kind of like do your inventory and figure out what you're doing wrong, what you can do to get yourself back in the right side of things. And I think the Lions will do that. And I think the Lions right now are the best team in the NFL, top to bottom, in terms of like offense, defense, playing together, coaching, and all this stuff, all wrapped together. They can stay healthy, man. It's going to be hard to take the Lions out right now. So I got the Lions. Lions favored by 5.5. Probably win about like 9 or something like that. I got the Lions winning that one. Look for Baker to keep the Tampa Bay Bucks in it and play game, but I just think they won't have enough arsenal to stay with Detroit. I got Detroit winning that one. All right, the second game is 8:30, 7:15. Excuse me. You got the Houston Texans taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's favored by 3.5. Now we both took the Seahawks. Uh, I just think the Seahawks is one of the more teams that nobody's really talking about. I think Mike McDaniel has got a lot of players on his defense that he's messing around with, trying to like get things lined up right. Got uh, Byron Murphy and um, Demarcus Lawrence on the defensive line. You got Tariq Woolen and a bunch of other guys in the secondary. Um, and I think they've got and of course they got Omurier. I think that's that safety they picked up from the from I know I'm not pronouncing his name right, but he's that stud freakazoid safety they got from the South Carolina that they drafted this year. It's like ran like a 4.3, something like that. He's just a freakazoid, man. And Mike McDaniel's like one of them dudes, like a mad scientist in the lab, kind of cook up potions to put all these uh, fine tuned defensive athletes together. And on offense, Sam Darnold, I think they got one of the best backfields in the NFL with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker Jr. Of course, they got um, um, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Cup at wide receiver. I got Seattle, man. Houston, look, man, I think they got a lot of talent on defense, offense. I think, them not having Mixon and Nico Collins. I think they're asking way too much out of him right now. And I know they've won 2 games. TK brought to my attention. They won 2 in a row, but they beat 2 bad teams. They beat the Texans, the Titans, and shut them out, and they beat a very depleted Ravens team. So they're going up against a team, with competent players right now that's playing well right now. We both got the Seahawks. So we're both in alignment on that right there. So, all right. So we always pick the week, the Thursday game, the next following week in week 8. That's going to be the Minnesota Vikings traveling to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think we split on that one. TK took the Vikings, I took the Chargers, so we split on that one. So really not going to talk a whole lot about that one because you don't know what's really going to take place in that game because we don't know what's going to happen on Sunday yet. Vikings could get somebody hurt, or the Seahawks could get somebody hurt, and it changes the whole dynamics of that game. But as it sits right now, I would take the Seahawks. And I think he said just to be a contrarian, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. Right. All right, bonus. We also picked 2 college games that was on our docket. We, of course, the uh, Ole Miss traveling to Sanford Stadium to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia was favored. We know the story because we know it's about 12 o'clock at night on Saturday, so we already know what happened in that game. Uh, uh, TK took Ole Miss, so he took the L on that one. I picked the Georgia Bulldogs. So it's hard to beat them in Sanford Stadium. Only team that's done it in the last like 5 years is who? The Alabama Crimson Tide. When it went down there and beat Old 21 about 3 weeks ago. They're the only one that's been able to do it. And Ole Miss was not able to do it. Had a 35-26 lead and gave up a 17-0 spot in the fourth quarter on their mass 13 yards in the fourth quarter, and allowed the Georgia Bulldogs to come from behind and win 43-35. And so I won that one. TK lost that one. And of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide took on the Tennessee Volunteers third Saturday in October. You know, I rolled with the Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide won the game 37-20 and held Tennessee out of the end zone late in the game to keep that winning margin. And we both had Alabama winning that game. So, but those are our picks, me and my boy TK for week 7 in the NFL. So like, comment, and subscribe. Match your picks against ours. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. As I said, thank you guys for watching and sharing and commenting. And we'll catch you guys on the next week. And enjoy your football Sunday. I know I will. God bless. We'll catch y'all next week.